Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here. My name is Eva. We just want to open this transmission with some nice deep breaths, centering ourselves. We really want the focus of this to be a return to true origin. There's a lot of information coming through of releasing ancestral genetics, ancestral conditioning, sort of learned beliefs, inherited beliefs on the genetic code, to really get in touch with the cosmic origin, yes, as we are evolving through the form, but most importantly, the sort of origin of life itself, the origin of our source, the origin of our beingness. The beingness that is the origin, that is what we are. This is really coming through as a lot of focus on, receiving the information of our highest benefit. Hinamaunsi paosinsi ushadi otunyan dia oshi. And releasing anger, releasing vengeance, releasing there's this visceral kind of energy stream coming up of really releasing this need for people to pay. For other people to pay for the intensity of the life that you've lived, for the difficulty of the life that you've lived. This is an ego-based vengeance. This is an attack on life. We let it go. If you're drawn to this work, I invite you to check out the member channel and sort of sit with the energy of the videos that you find there, because we really go deeper into the mechanisms of the ego, and understanding that bringing any of this up is not to feel guilty, because it is to see that these are illusions. The world of the dream is a dream that we have made, and it is truly to forgive ourselves for the making, so that we can just let it be undone. Tanatosi. It is an undoing of what never was. Shin sotokona im yatorukotarai si toyonoto amain. Hin yorut. Because there is a collective pressure and despair and confusion and just wanting to give up. So strongly this message came through. I wrote it down, of sort of empowering the root, really, really feeling this in the very base foundation. Don't give up. Don't collapse the vision. Don't look back. The past is not an option. The past does not exist. We are not going to run fear cycles. We're not going to spin the wheel on the past repeating. That's not an option. Don't hold that as an option in your mind. Allow the vision. We don't cling to the vision. We allow the vision to be. Sin sotruipi kayatondo yamnitri kistorukun shotruata. Si. This came through in the member healing yesterday. We don't force healing. We allow healing to be. Kinindidi tiorruhus dorrukunim natratis hin yarat. Hut orrukusi yushoto amasit. And really expanding into allowing this information coming from the sun, from our hearts, connecting in this giving and receiving, understanding these are the same. Mayasosoti shoto konatis. Ha urukuipon shotu seesiata. And we don't cling to the information. We don't cling to trying to understand it in the old way. We allow it to be, Kipa uruinium dorukuisimashi. Kinindisi siotruiti shinitiotokorui pistis ditri anukundorut. Don't try to force yourself to understand things in a way that Spirit is not asking you to. We awaken to remembrance. There was a line as I was reading the Course in Miracles last night or the night before. The second coming is the awareness of reality, not its return. We are not lost. We are not fallen. We have ideas of separation, but these are ideas. They are not the truth. We awaken to the truth that is. You don't have to wait. You don't have to understand more of your illusions, more of your pain, more of your limiting beliefs. You bring them up, you recognize that they are there, and you forgive yourself for them by giving them to the Holy Spirit. You say, I don't want this anymore. This is not useful to me. I cannot build the vision. I cannot allow the kingdom to be if I am holding on to wanting to understand this. Sinsorukuti tritis nayat, kashi, kaya sokoruiti norutit. And as you work with light codes, as you work with this subconscious, unconscious, multidimensional unraveling, I think, in my personal journey of this, the most important part is developing that strength and neutrality to let that information go without trying to make it more important than it is, or think that understanding yourselves in multidimensional form of the dream, which is still of the dream, that we would know ourselves better by understanding ourselves in the dream. This is difficult for us who are of experiencing ourselves in form here. But we can let it be easier by when it comes through, when that desire to understand illusion comes through, that we immediately call in Spirit, that we immediately turn to the guide. The guide is not our own personality. The guide is our one self in this world coming through as the Spirit of God. And how you interpret that is up to you, because it's going to be meaningful for you, how you are going to be comfortable. Sacred fire, and it can take different form for your understanding based on where you are at the time, and that is individual to you. But we are most focused on allowing that one life. Yes, we are all uniquely coded in our formal expression, and we are meant to do and be and express in different ways. But that will come naturally the more that you allow yourself to rest in the knowing of your origin, the origin that you've never left. Because the goal of this work is peace, and to live without fear. So that you trust that you are never alone, that you are not bringing through anything alone. You can do nothing of yourself. The idea of a separated self is an incorrect idea. And we should rejoice in this. Let yourself rejoice in it now. Even if you feel like there are struggles that you feel like you don't know how to resolve, they are already resolved in the truth of your being. And you just have to let that come through a little bit. Every day you just practice opening that allowance a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Training your mind to flow with that belief a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Spirit doesn't ask anything of you that you can't do. It knows you. You don't know, we don't know ourselves when we try to interpret ourselves by our ego. So we have to open ourselves to the one who does know, and that is the Spirit of our truth. And how beautiful it is that we could remember. Thank God we can remember. We are grateful that we have the ability to remember this, because it is the remembrance of it in one split instant, one split second, the remembrance of it that is healing. Allow yourself to be awakened. Kita rahatot orrukuim natritis itrayato korurutuyutot han shikinindritis ikinayatritis ikiat. You don't have blocks, you have ideas of blocks. Pieta korrukui simsikit, but you are mind. Hindra orutosum sakadatra isikiti, you are of pure creative power. Harahas natraya noto amain nishni drindi tikaraiti sitriatoto koarat. Ham no ruhusha pisatraisi ti kiarat. Rayesoto reiniam norkus. Shain zatru porrukuini andratis ikayat. Horruhushi piti kinindritisin sorut. Hayato doyo korutim. Hinyan daya torrukuasa. Shitisi kiataya torrutoyot. Kinindriyasun sokonish. And you may be feeling at this time an incredible shaking of your ego foundation. There's so much energy coming through in our physical life from the sun, from the earth. In response to the sun, the earth opens. Kitaya sotsot o arkisnatratos oshi. Yet kinamorut opens in all ways. Seismic activity. Siapsapto korrokuit, volcanic activity. Tuyotokotibasatratis is. Shin sin driti sin siotokorrokuipitianat. Ha orut. Molecular compression at the very smallest levels, kotokotibat of form, kanadru orundut tayat, hartikorutuish. Allow that, if you're going to work with illusions as an aid to see that they are not real, kimaya sotsotrot, perhaps take a moment to see how what you are trying to cling to in your understanding, what you're trying to make happen in the way you're trying, from what mind is this coming? Is this coming from ego mind, or is this coming from the guide? Is this coming from spirit? Shinsi korrutut, from the great teacher. Sinsi kiri korrukuim atayos ot ok orut. And perhaps maybe you stop doing it that way if it's not working. And if it's not working, maybe less focused on the physical results you think you want, but in your peace. Are you at peace? If you're not at peace, then perhaps you're listening to the wrong guide. Hianauruhitis. And if you are going to respond to that based on what you think is happening physically, this is asking you to perhaps go deeper into yourself. And what you think this is for. What is your goal? Get clear. Work with the sun. The sun brings clarity. Work with the elemental forces. They have no agenda. They are they are open, they are in clarity of their own code, and they will help you be in clarity of your own. If you feel very pulled by multidimensional existence, which I cannot stress enough is still of the dream, the light language code is of the dream. But it helps you awaken these different parts of yourself which you have rejected in your insistence on just being what you are, what your ego is telling you that you are. And when you accept yourself as all things, then communication opens to all things. And that is the expression of the code. It is not just one kind of form. It's not, what's writing on this code is not information just from one area of self. It is inextricable. You would not be able to parse. And you are not meant to. And if you clarify your goal of knowing yourself as one, of accepting all of your brothers and sisters and all life as yourself, why would you need to parse difference? That would be antithetical to the goal. Clarity of purpose. And when we sat down and set the intention to Be free of ancestral origin ideas, right, that we are bound to. Ancestral genetics, inherited familial genetics, code from different time space. That we would not let this run our lives unconsciously, because that inherited code is based in the ego. It is not based in knowing the self. It is based in allowing past patterns to repeat. And so we call to our origin of truth, which is not in the past, it is now. We've never left this origin, so that we can assist all life in remembering itself throughout time. But we free ourselves from ideas of limitations by illuminating this code held within. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful work. I want to thank you all for joining me here and participating in the work. As we bring ourselves back to this moment of self, we rest in gratitude for this ability to be together in the truth, to be together in the light, to be together in the remembrance of our true selves, knowing that this spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan that cannot fully or even partially be discerned by our ego. And the work that we do is to trust that plan and to stop trying to intervene upon it in ways that Spirit is not asking us to. Shitayat orukin. Spirit is asking us to clear the current, for it to work through us, for miracles to happen. Kinindisia tayanit, tantat orukuit. Let it be. Let it be. Be at peace. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. God bless you.